A little while ago, a guy that joined our school community for Revive made this comment. It was something like, "Nice to be part of the support community for folks who like me. I'm sure it tried everything else, but now we're here." And I thought it was so fitting because it kind of represented this, like, all right, this is the last line of defense. We've tried all the traditional stuff and it didn't work. Maybe this crazy Revive thing will work. And I love that. Right? Like that for me is Revive. And I commented back, I'm like, this is the Alamo, baby. And I love this Alamo metaphor. So today I'm gonna talk a little bit more about why I think that this journey and Revive is kind of the Alamo for a lot of people. I'm going to take you back to 2014, which is a story I've told a number of times. I had a TMJ dentist, drove my back teeth. I started falling apart. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't function well. I couldn't retain information. I turned into a hermit. All these horrible things were happening. And, it was day after day for months. And I was trying to hold my job. My wife was pregnant with our son, and we were in Vietnam. We didn't really have a support network there. She had picked out a hospital and a doctor. I needed to keep my job in order to keep the visa so that we could stay in the country, so that we didn't have to change hospital and doctor last minute on my, pregnant wife. Every day I just wanted to give up. Like I was just in such a horrible mental and physical state that every day I had to go to the job, I would like look up at the clock in agony, wanting to go home, wanting to quit, and feeling like I couldn't. During that time, I changed a lot. Like I'd had a lot of friends, and I used to be this guy that used to go out a lot, and all that was gone now. It was just me, my wife, and my son, and me feeling like I was fighting for our survival. It was kind of like this mental torture. But a lot of nights I would sit on the couch before going to bed and just feel sorry for myself and kind of wonder, like, oh, maybe if I'm going to feel like this the rest of my life, maybe my family's better off without me. And really kind of like negative thought spiral. And one night I was just like, no, like, I'm going to stop thinking like this. I'm going to knuckle up and I'm going to figure this out. And I made that mental shift. I became a different person. Like this fun kind of just going out Ken had to disappear and die. And this new survival driven person emerged where the only thing I cared about was my family, holding on to my job, and figuring out this health thing so that I could have my life back. And luckily, a little while later, I found Starecta, who became the second person outside of Italy to use Starecta, and I started doing better. And that gave me the confidence to kind of stick it out. And once my wife had the child, things became a little easier and I was performing better on my job and things started getting better in 2015. So in a way, I like to say that I made my Alamo stand. Like that was my Alamo stand in 14. The whole world was crashing and I said, no, I'm not going to fall. It changed me. Like it changed who I was, my values, my personality. Like my own parents would say that, I've changed because of this. And in a way, I think everything's simplified. Like I didn't care too much about the things that I used to care about. I didn't care about what clothing I wore or going out or like these friends that were not close friends and we just go out. Like I just didn't care about that anymore. Like it simplified life for me. Like it was about my family, my health, and trying to put my career back together. And so that's kind of the mindset I had for years as I was going into circles, is that I'd, do better and then do worse. But I got used to it. Like I got used to being able to take damage. And we moved from Vietnam to Boston to Russia to Thailand, as I was going in circles, and like some bad things would happen sometimes. But I'd become this like empty soldier who got used to the situation where bad things were going to happen. Right. And so it stopped bothering me as much. And then in 2021, I started getting better. I figured it out by end of 21, and by 22 and then into 23, I like to think that I started taking the fight to the enemy, meaning that I'd not only figured out my own situation, but now I was helping some other people because I could recognize the problem and help some other folks that had the same problem. And I think this situation is pretty similar to a lot of people that do Revive. Like I don't think Revive is the first thing that most people do when they have a health issue. They go to the doctor, they go to the dentist, they see the chiropractor, they do all those things for years and they go in circles with them. the way I did for many years. And they don't come to Revive until they've kind of like ruled out that all of that stuff doesn't work. And so we're kind of a last resort. We are their Alamo stand, right? When all else has failed, they decide to do, follow this crazy guy from the internet who talks about a mouth guard, right? That is Revive. And one way that I like to describe it, which is the way that I used to describe it, is when you're making this Alamo stand, like you realize that you're the last thing standing between you, whatever's coming at you with life, right? Bad things, good things, whatever. You're the only thing that's standing between that and your family, your career, your hopes, your dreams, right? Like if you fall, if you give up, then everything that you're standing in front of goes as well. I think a lot of people, that do Revive are similar to me in that respect, and that we were at this pretty desperate situation, hoping that this thing worked. And I think, the good news is that for a lot of these people, I think it is going to work. I don't think this is going to end like the Alamo. Like we're not going to end like everyone doing Revive gets slaughtered. I think we are going to come charging out of that Alamo. Like Davy Crockett and Sam Bowie, charging out at the enemy. That's how I see it. We're going to take the fight to them as they're running away. We're going to pick them off as they run. And this band of ragtag soldiers that were holding out in this Alamo that they called Revive, I hope we're going to start something that is going to really help change the world one day. Thank you.